Hello, I'm continuing on with this module with just a couple more things for you before I'm finished with the module. And that's dealing with a couple of other situations that we're going to be looking at from this module. And that deals with sexual harassment, bias-based profiling, and performance evaluation. And these are other things that are considered a integral part of the administration of the department, particularly when we're dealing with the sexual harassment. And that deals not only with sexual harassment, but it's also any other form of harassment or discrimination. And in this procedure, and this is something that as an administrator, you have to go over this every single year, and you have to have the officers sign that they have read and they understand the guidelines. This is very, very important part of this type of administration and the training that goes on there, so that you're setting a tone within your department, particularly with dealing with the public and also fellow employees, is that you have to go over the legal definitions of that. You have to look at the things that in dealing with the particular things with sexual harassment, is that any type of advances, any type of conduct, any type of references, any type of reference to another person, any type of even displaying cartoons or pictures, or any type of thing, whistling, sexual gestures, any of those things, any discussion over a person's activities, all these things have to be dealt with. But it also goes beyond that to discrimination. Is that discrimination between race, color, religious creed, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, ancestry, handicap, or any other such categories protected by law. And so very, very important that the officers understand this, because they know they have tremendous amount of power. And when the spoken word from an officer is the same thing as when you shoot a gun. The minute the officer shoots his or her gun, the minute they shoot their gun, is that bullet leaves that gun, and you can never call it back. And the same thing happens when an officer makes an offensive remark to a person, particularly if it's dealing with discrimination, ethnicity, sexual situations. The minute that word comes out of their mouth is that they can never ever call it back. And this is why you have to have these real strict policies. Not only doing that, but have a policy as how to do it, the investigation, what happens when a person is your supervisor or above you. Do you have alternate things where you can go outside of the organization, and we give them resources where they can go and do all those types of things there, and just that very, very important part of the administration. And the same thing goes with bias-based profiling, is that you need to have a policy and procedure in place that you are not going to criticize someone or be biased, particularly in motor vehicle stops, when you're dealing with age, race, religion, national organization, citizen, ethnicity, gender, all those types of things. And so you need to have it in writing. And again, the officers have to get trained on it every year. They have to understand it. They have to sign for it. All these things are just a very integral part of what's going on with that. And so that's that part of there. You need to read both those policies and procedures. And the other thing that's very, very critical with a police department is that you must have performance evaluation. It's on a regular basis. A new employee gets evaluated even more so than another employee. There are annual ones for if you've been working for more than a year. You're evaluated by your immediate supervisor. We go back to that chain of command. You're evaluated on the criteria of job knowledge, the quality of work, the quantity of work, the adaptability, independence, all these types of things that are dealing with that. Your neatness, your appearance, all those types of things that we work with there. So we get into those situations as how a person should be rated, the way that a person can appeal any type of rating. All these things have to be written out and discussed. The other thing that we work with here is this is a form, and one of the interesting things with this performance evaluation, this is another thing, part of accreditation, where you had to implement a level of performance evaluation. So instead of just the administration deciding what the criteria was for the evaluation, we got together with the union. We got together with representatives from each shift, because each shift has different qualities that they work. The day shift deals a lot with all businesses and traffic and all that. The night shift sometimes deals with domestics a lot, and with motor vehicle crashes and shoplifters, just the same as it. And the midnight shift, they deal with a lot of things where they're just the guardians of the community, but there's a lot of responsibility that they have, making the place safe while people are sleeping. All those things there. So in order to make it fair for everyone, we had this committee come together, and they themselves, they created this form. And in that respect is that they came out and they said, this is what we think a good employee here of the police department needs to know and needs to do. And so, as we can see, there's a lot of traits that go on to there. And again, the officers are the ones that really looked into these things, that you have to have your job knowledge, particularly about laws and your vehicle and all those things there. You have to have really good work habits. And those work habits deal a lot with self-motivation, how you take care of things. What happens when you get a special assignment? Do you follow through with it? Are you in time for work all the time? Can you work under stress? Can you work with others? Can you have a good attitude when your personal traits? You have courtesy, leadership. Leadership is a big thing, because if you have leadership and judgment and personal appearance, known as command presence, are you confident? Are you self-motivated? And this is what people look for when they make a promotion to detective or a sergeant, lieutenant, or even chief. Are you self-motivated? Do you communicate properly? Do you have a good work environment? Are you good at community policing and the public? And then that will lead into these leadership qualities, where you can use these as a basis, because these follow you through your career. And so this is the importance of employee evaluation. There's nothing hidden. It's shared with the employee. The employee can respond to it. They can appeal it. They can do all these things here. But it's just such an integral part of morale, professionalism, professional development. All these things play into that. And you need to document. Again, accreditation, documentation. So I hope that this helps out with you understanding the challenges that a police department has in maintaining a good level of professionalism, encouraging officers to do their best, and also, as I always say in my things, is you be doing your best before you expect it of others. And this documents all that sort of stuff. So thank you again for your attention, and good luck on this assignment.